Welcome back to the BNB Spoilers channel. Today, we delve into a storyline on The Bold and the Beautiful that promises to tug at viewers' emotions and reshape the destiny of the Forrester clan. At the center of this dramatic arc is Ridge Forrester, a man known for his leadership and creative vision, who finds himself grappling not only with the shock of losing control of Forrester Creations, but also with an unexpected medical diagnosis that upends his life in ways he never thought possible. As Ridge attempts to conceal his declining health, old loyalties and new conflicts merge into a complex family drama that tests the bonds holding the Forresters together. In the aftermath of losing Forrester Creations, Ridge's guilt grows day by day. For a long time, he had been the beating heart of the company, having made bold decisions and designed iconic collections that anchored the Forrester name in the fashion world. Yet recent events allowed outsiders to seize control, a blow he takes as a personal failing. The sense of betrayal Ridge feels toward himself mounts each time he considers that he may not have been vigilant enough. Every casual mention of the company's downfall stings, reminding him of a responsibility he believes he failed to uphold. Over time, this guilt manifests in crushing stress that infiltrates every aspect of his life, from sleepless nights to recurring headaches that gradually intensify. Initially, Ridge attributes his headaches to the mounting pressures he feels in the wake of the company's loss. But as the pain becomes more frequent, he suspects something deeper lies beneath the surface. Fearing bad news yet sensing he cannot continue as he is, Ridge decides to consult a doctor in private. He undergoes a series of medical tests designed to rule out or confirm a variety of ailments. The preliminary questions and labs leave him uneasy, although nothing prepares him for the news he ultimately receives. The doctor diagnoses him with Alzheimer's disease. For Ridge, this revelation is a crushing blow, worse than anything he had imagined. Given his active lifestyle and intense devotion to keeping fit, it never occurred to him that such an illness could be lurking in his future. The idea that his memory, reasoning, and sense of self might gradually slip away is almost too harrowing to contemplate. Devastated but resolute, Ridge decides that no one, least of all his already burdened family, needs to know. The Forresters are still coming to terms with losing their company, an event that cast everyone into disarray. Eric, still an iconic figure within the family, has been mourning not only the loss of the business, but also the erosion of unity within the family. Steffi grapples with her own challenges, torn between frustration over the company's future and worry about her father's withdrawn behavior. Ridge believes he must shield them all from additional heartbreak. In his mind, revealing an Alzheimer's diagnosis would only plunge them further into despair, and he cannot bear to be the source of another blow. Keeping such a secret in a tight-knit circle proves more difficult than Ridge imagined, especially when Taylor Hayes re-enters his life. A gifted psychologist, Taylor has always held a special place in Ridge's heart. Though the two have navigated rocky paths in the past, her concern for his well-being remains steadfast. She notices the tension in his posture, the forgetful moments he casually dismisses, and the occasional confusion that washes over him when faced with routine tasks. At first, Taylor wonders if it might be linked to depression or perhaps an overabundance of stress. But her clinical instincts pick up signs that point to something more profound. Driven by love and a professional understanding of the mind, Taylor presses Ridge for the truth, determined to help him even if he resists. Eventually, Ridge breaks down under her gentle insistence, revealing his Alzheimer's diagnosis. The scene is heartbreakingly raw. Ridge, normally so proud and guarded, confesses to Taylor in a voice trembling with fear. He speaks of the guilt he carries, not just over losing Forrester Creations, but also over being unable to shield the family from one more tragedy. He envisions a future where he gradually loses himself, burdening everyone around him. Taylor, deeply moved, offers unconditional support, urging him to let go of the secrecy and lean on the Forresters, who would surely want to stand by him. She insists that Eric, Steffi, and even Carter deserve to know, so they can be vigilant about his health and well-being. However, Ridge reacts with anger and shock when she suggests telling others. He interprets her words as a betrayal, fearful that losing control over his own narrative will rob him of his last shred of autonomy. In his eyes, deciding whether to divulge his condition should be his right alone. Already plagued by guilt for losing the company, the idea of seeing pity in the faces of his loved ones makes him recoil. He begs Taylor to remain silent, but his pleas do not sway her. As a therapist, Taylor understands the importance of early intervention, community support, and mental health resources for patients with Alzheimer's. She believes silence only allows the disease to fester unnoticed, leading to greater crises down the line. She hopes that, by involving Steffi, Eric, and perhaps even members of the extended Forrester family, she can ensure Ridge is never alone in confronting the challenges that lie ahead. Despite Ridge's protestations, Taylor takes it upon herself to inform Steffi and Eric. The news shakes them to their core. For Eric, whose life has been dedicated to family and legacy, the idea that his son might slip away into the fog of Alzheimer's is beyond devastating. Steffi, who has long admired her father's creativity and resilience, feels powerless when confronted with the knowledge that no amount of determination can reverse the disease. As they absorb the revelation, the immediate question arises: how do they keep a close watch on Ridge without making him feel suffocated, and how do they brace themselves for what might become a slow decline? But all these well-intentioned discussions come to a head when Ridge learns that Taylor has broken his trust. Furious and hurt, he storms out without revealing his destination, leaving his phone behind to avoid the countless calls he knows will flood in. The battered state of his spirit, combined with the early symptoms of Alzheimer's, raises a troubling possibility that he might wander off without a plan, risking disorientation, or worse. In the hours that follow, Steffi tries calling him incessantly, only to be met with silence. Eric sends out messages, hoping Ridge will respond if only to let them know he is safe. Even outsiders, upon hearing whispers of the situation, begin to speculate about Ridge's whereabouts. His car is gone, yet no one knows if he has set off on a short drive to clear his head or a far more drastic flight from his life in Los Angeles. As hours stretch into days without contact, fear escalates. Steffi, Eric, and Taylor convene at the Forrester mansion, pacing anxiously and brainstorming ways to find Ridge. They consider searching the places he used to frequent for inspiration: beaches, mountain retreats, the Forrester cabin, yet each location yields nothing. The police eventually become involved when the family files a missing persons report, describing Ridge's physical and emotional state to help authorities grasp the urgency. Officers begin scanning roads and reviewing traffic cameras, hopeful to spot his vehicle or track his credit card use, but the leads are sparse. This period of waiting strains every relationship in the Forrester and Logan families. Taylor wrestles with guilt, fearing that in her zeal to ensure Ridge's safety, she might have pushed him away instead. Steffi battles frustration, wishing her father had trusted them enough to handle the truth directly, while also grappling with compassion for his vulnerability. Eric, whose paternal instincts drive him to protect Ridge at all costs, can barely sleep, tormented by worry that his son might be alone and confused, struggling to remember even the basic details of who he is or how to reach home. The storyline captures the precarious balance of compassion and autonomy. Ridge's fear of pity is understandable, especially given his track record as a strong figure within the family and the fashion industry. Yet his reluctance to lean on those who love him places him in greater peril. Viewers are left questioning whether the Forresters will locate Ridge in time to offer him medical care, emotional support, and the unwavering sense of unity for which the family is known, even in the face of relentless conflict. Ultimately, the show underscores how an unexpected medical diagnosis can fracture even the sturdiest personalities, fueling denial, anger, and impulsive decisions. While business dramas and romantic entanglements have long driven The Bold and the Beautiful, the intense focus on Ridge's health propels a deeper exploration of identity, pride, and the fear of becoming a burden. The sense of uncertainty lingers as police investigations intensify and the Forrester household lies on edge, awaiting any sign of Ridge's whereabouts. The question remains whether they will find him before his condition, and his despair, leads him to irreparable harm. As the days pass, each ring of the phone sends everyone rushing, hearts pounding, hoping for news of Ridge's safety. Some hope that he has simply taken solace in a familiar hideaway, grappling with his new reality in private. Others dread the potential that confusion from Alzheimer's could cause him to lose track of time, location, and self. The tension is palpable in each scene, and fans worldwide hold their breath, wondering if the Forresters can reunite before it is too late. In the midst of the crisis, a glimmer of resolution flickers. A police officer calls Steffi with tentative news. A motorist matching Ridge's description might have been spotted along a remote stretch of highway, looking disoriented. The family clings to that slender lead, preparing to rush out in search of him, determined to bring him home and surround him with support, no matter how fiercely he resists. There is no guarantee it is Ridge, only the possibility, but that possibility is enough to reignite hope. And so the storyline leaves off on a knife's edge, bridging heartbreak and a fragile sense of unity. Ridge's Alzheimer's diagnosis shakes the entire Forrester Foundation, transforming everyday squabbles over boardroom power into pale distractions compared to the life-altering scope of his illness. As with many arcs in The Bold and the Beautiful, only time will tell whether love prevails or if pride and secrecy will place a permanent wedge between Ridge and those he holds dear. What remains certain is that this saga lays bare the characters' fundamental humanity. None of them are immune to devastation, and each might only find true strength by stepping out of isolation and allowing others to share the burden. Stay tuned to the BNB Spoilers channel for the next turn in this emotional narrative. Will Ridge be found in time? Can the Forrester family come together to offer him the reassurance and care he needs as he enters a challenging fight against Alzheimer's? And will he ever forgive Taylor for revealing his diagnosis, or realize that her betrayal was, at its core, an act of fierce protection? Through these questions, the show reminds us that families are tested by adversity, but can also find the courage to heal and unite, even when faced with the darkest of fates. Next, we will learn about the shocking twists and turns that Carter faces as his seemingly perfect life spirals into chaos. Get ready as we delve into the drama, betrayal, and life-altering choices unfolding on The Bold and the Beautiful. A double life exposed, Carter's world unravels. In a jaw-dropping revelation that promises to shake The Bold and the Beautiful to its core, Daphne drops a bombshell: she's pregnant with Carter's child. This shocking news comes just as Carter resolves to focus on his life with Hope, who recently revealed her own pregnancy. Suddenly, Carter is forced to grapple with the unthinkable. He is now the father of 2 children, with 2 different women. The emotional and moral stakes skyrocket as he faces the impossible decision of choosing between his obligations to Hope and the fiery connection he shares with Daphne. This development doesn't just affect Carter's personal life, it sends ripples across both families. Hope, the embodiment of stability and optimism, faces the prospect of heartbreak and betrayal. Daphne, on the other hand, represents passion, unpredictability, and the kind of allure that pulled Carter into this predicament in the first place. Carter's decision will forever redefine the dynamics within Forrester Creations and the Logan family. The pregnancy bombshell, Hope versus Daphne. Hope Logan's announcement that she's pregnant comes at the most inopportune time for Carter, who has been juggling a passionate, clandestine affair with Daphne. When Hope shares the news of their child, Carter is overwhelmed with guilt and a renewed sense of duty. He vows to end things with Daphne and commit fully to Hope, believing it's the right thing to do. However, soap operas are rarely so straightforward. Just as Carter attempts to cut ties with Daphne, she drops her own stunning revelation: she's carrying his child too. This twist not only shatters Carter's resolve, but leaves him questioning his own morals, priorities, and the man he has become. How did a man who worked so hard to climb to the top end up in such a precarious position? A seductive plan backfires. Steffy's role in the drama. Steffy Forrester's calculated move to bring Daphne into Carter's life now seems like a double-edged sword. What began as a masterstroke to disrupt Carter and Hope's partnership has spiraled into chaos. Steffy, known for her fierce loyalty to her family, orchestrated this plan to weaken Carter's hold on Forrester Creations. She believed Daphne's undeniable charm and allure would be enough to sway Carter's focus, ultimately paving the way for the Forresters to reclaim their company. However, even Steffy couldn't have predicted the depth of the fallout. Daphne's entanglement with Carter went far beyond a simple distraction. It evolved into a passionate affair that now threatens to dismantle everything Steffy was fighting for. With emotions running high and the stakes even higher, Steffy must face the unintended consequences of her scheme. Will she intervene to clean up the mess, or will she let Carter's world implode for the sake of her family's revenge? Carter's secret affair, a dangerous game. It all began innocently enough, or so Carter thought. When Daphne Rose stepped into the Forrester Creations office, she brought with her an air of sophistication, mystery, and undeniable beauty. Her mission was clear: infiltrate Carter's life, destabilize his relationship with Hope, and report back to Steffy. But what no one anticipated was the magnetic chemistry between Daphne and Carter. Despite his best efforts to resist, Carter found himself drawn to Daphne in a way he couldn't explain. Their secret rendezvous and steamy encounters quickly escalated into a full-blown affair. As their connection deepened, Carter began to lose sight of his goals, his commitments, and the line between right and wrong. It was a dangerous game, one that could only lead to heartbreak and betrayal. Living the dream, Carter's ill-fated rise. Carter's life seemed like a dream come true. He had seized control of Forrester Creations, elevated Brooke Logan to CEO, and was basking in the glory of his hard-won success. Partnering with Hope Logan not only solidified his professional triumphs, but also sparked a romantic relationship that seemed to promise a bright future. For the first time, Carter felt like he had it all. But as Steffy Forrester watched from the sidelines, she saw a different story unfolding. To her, Carter's rise to power was a betrayal, a theft of her family's legacy. Determined to bring him down, she hatched a plan that would ultimately put Carter's newfound happiness to the ultimate test. The fallout, a future full of uncertainty. As Carter faces the reality of his double life, he knows there is no easy way out. Staying with Hope would mean embracing stability and the promise of a traditional family life, but it would also mean confronting Daphne as a co-parent and living with the guilt of his betrayal. Choosing Daphne, on the other hand, could ignite a fiery new chapter full of passion, but would leave Hope shattered and betrayed. The fallout from Carter's choices will ripple far and wide, affecting not only his relationships, but the very foundation of Forrester Creations. With the future hanging in the balance, one thing is certain: this is the kind of high-stakes drama the bold and the beautiful fans live for. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the unfolding drama in Carter's life. Do you think he'll choose stability with Hope or passion with Daphne? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for the next explosive chapter on The Bold and the Beautiful.